This is Ravens Flock Talk Podcast, coming to you every week with their thoughts and opinions on each and every Ravens game. Tune in weekly and join the flock.
Ravens Flock, I am your host, Brandon, with my co-host, my dad. And first, we want to thank our subscribers. We're slowly building. Please comment. We would love to get to know your thoughts on the game. But this game was a bit different. I was on business travel coming back from the airport, so we had to stream on the way home. This was a tale of two halves, as you said, Dad. And yeah, it's always exciting to play Tom Brady, even in Tampa Bay. You know, it's not the New England energy. So it's kind of died down a little bit when playing against Brady. But man, I was excited to play against him and excited that we were able to pull out this win. Now we're starting to get some momentum going on this team. Confidence is building. Couldn't ask for a better game, a comeback win, and to hold it off in the fourth quarter. So, well, what's your thoughts on the game, Dad?
I'm just so pumped that we did this on a Thursday night.
Prime time
in front of the GOAT. And Lamar was playing it down, but you know he wanted to prove a point, win this game big against the GOAT. Away game, excited about it. It was a little different for Brandon and I because we missed the first half coming from the airport, but we were streaming it and listening to the first half, which was excruciating, I might add, because you're in the car, you can't see it. But I couldn't see it driving. But anyway, it was great, Brandon. I am just so pumped now. We have such momentum, as you said. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a tale of two halves. So, I mean, the first half, we're like, man, slow start and whatnot. But, I mean, just the image at the end of Lamar stopping in the tunnel to see that poster that fell down. Come to find out, pay the man. He's holding it up. He's waiting for a marker to sign it. I mean, what an image for our owner, Steve Bisciotti, seeing that prime time. I mean, he better sell that yacht or something to compensate because Lamar's going to want that money. And I know he's been struggling recently, but like I said, he needs that win to get this team back on track because wherever Lamar goes, we go.
Yeah.
And what a better game, too, with Andrews. Honestly, it sucks that he got hurt, but on the opposite end of that, it's kind of good because it forced him to give it to other people because we have playmakers.
All right, so Brandon, you're jumping right into the middle of the game. I mean, that was my thoughts because I felt the same thing. At first, when you saw him go down, you were like, oh, gosh. But in the first quarter, the first three passes, I believe, was to him. He was doing his thing, as always, but then he started forcing it into Andrews. And that's where he started getting in trouble. We could have had some picks in the first quarter right there, Brandon.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's the way the game goes. And I was just freaking out driving on the first drive of Tampa when we kicked it off. And we had a perfect opportunity to score.
He could have scooped and scored it, really, looking
Brandon
back
was
at it.
telling me you could have scooped it up and scored. He fell on it. Okay, I get it. But we're on the 6-yard line. You got to punch it in. And then I see that they don't have the run game going. They didn't try to punch it in with the run game. They're passing it.
Well, you had mentioned that they didn't have Gus in, and I mean right then and there. Shoot.
And of course Roman was Roman in the beginning. He has that option play run for Lamar. He loses yardage on I think first or second down. And here we go. And then to settle for a field goal was such an opportunity. In that first quarter, first drive, for Tampa, it was like I'm saying this is not going to go good tonight.
It really paid off though that Tampa Bay's been struggling and Tom's been off. I mean, there was some blown coverages, especially with Mike Evans that he was throwing the ball short. So Tom was definitely not on his A game. Not to get in his personal life, but maybe the divorce has something to do with it. And I don't know. Tom Brady just doesn't seem like Tom Brady as of recent.
And hearing breaking news, we're not going to get too much into that. Hearing breaking news about the divorce right then and there, we may have benefited from him not having the full focus like we know Brady to have.
Yeah, but going back. With the Andrews injury and Bateman's starting to look like Hollywood 2.0 to me. So honestly, is he a number one guy? I feel like we got another. I think he was a first round pick like Hollywood. Another guy who is not panning out to be our number one guy. But I can't think of a better game to prove to Roman and just anybody that's doubted the Ravens and our offensive weapons that Likely and Duvernay, and finally, I love Demarcus Robinson finally got involved. It shows Lamar, hey, it's not just Andrews. You can trust other guys. We have playmakers to make plays for you. We have teammates around you to help you out, man, to make you the best quarterback you can possibly be.
Yeah, like they say, something always happens for a reason. And again, that was critical when Andrews went down, Brandon. And the thing of it is, I agree with you on that. And to see it actually happen live, where he had to go to different receivers and tight ends, and then what happens? Likely has the game of his life as our rookie.
And me and you were talking about when is he going to come up? And I was telling you, when it was reported he's not coming back, I said, all right, this is Likely's time.
Yeah.
Let's see that preseason Likely that we were all hyped up to be. Maybe this is going to get him to be like, okay, Andrews is out, it's my time.
I remember,
and it shouldn't have taken an injury for him to get involved. But hey,
that's why I say
what happens.
Yeah. That's why I say fate. And I remember what actually got Likely kicked off was that snag he did, and it was a nice pass by Lamar with two defenders in Likely's face. He just snagged it. And then what I like with Likely is he's physical, unlike Bateman. And he stiff armed and he kept the ball and he ran after.
Well, he is a tight end and Bateman.
No, but I don't care. You got receivers that are also physical out here, right?
I know.
So I'd like to see Likely though. Not only did he snag that and catch it, he stiff armed it and he made some additional yardage.
He's so interesting because Andrews looks like a tight end and runs like a tight end, right? And somehow he always gets open, I guess, because of that zone defense or whatever. But he can make those plays on one-on-one coverage. But Likely is a tight end, but kind of moves like a receiver. He can make guys miss, and he's got. That tiptoe catch in the back of the end zone is like a receiver, like a Chad Johnson in his heyday, tapping the feet, dragging the feet, whatever the case may be.
And Brandon's got deceiving speed. That's
what I'm saying.
He's got what I love about him going across the middle.
He's got wide receiver characteristics to him in a tight end's body.
Right.
He's so versatile.
Kind of like a freak. And then, hey, they didn't say a lot post game about Robinson. He had a heck of a game.
Yeah.
And I hope Roman focuses on him more because he was critical. And then, hey, Duvernay. I can't say enough about this guy. And I think it's his third year now. He is just coming into his own. I was watching some replays on him.
We love that swing handoff with him, man. That swing handoff is coming to be a staple in this offensive scheme.
And what really I saw with him looking at some replays is his speed. He has a second gear like Lamar does.
Yeah, we all knew that. And that's why they're utilizing it.
You got to see, okay, some people say is fast. We all know Tyreek is fast. And you say Duvernay, he's got an extra gear. And I love it. And his kick returns, they're not going to start trying to kick it to him because every time he at least gets 20 yards.
Yeah. So let's switch it to the defense's side of the ball. We got lucky because Brady's been off. There was some blown coverages, and I will say that bailed our defense out at times. But our defense now is looking better. Justin Houston, I can't say enough about him. He comes back, 2 sacks. Now, and I get it, Brady's an old man back there. He can't move much, but hey, it's nice to have a guy that we can depend on to get after the quarterback. I can't talk enough about him. Humphrey's been picking it up.
Matt Bouquet, he had some really nice plays.
He's going to be big because Pierce has got hurt after third, fourth game. Yeah. So and Calais was out this game. Right. So it's some players are picking up the slack. And these wins are crucial because now, it's like when the players hurt, like Williams, they can come back, and it's not a rush to win games because we're winning these games now while they're out.
Hey, I got to give them credit. The offense and the defense actually, not in the first half, but in the second half, they picked it up. And I can't say enough about some of the third downs that they prevented. There's a
lot of third and longs.
Defensive guy, I think is Washington. He batted the ball twice on third down. Brady was scrambling, and he can't scramble, so this is to our advantage. Although he did scramble out of one and threw it for a touchdown, but other than that, he was not on his game, and our defense stood up. I'm still not 100%. They're just playing too far off the wide receivers, and now I know it's prevent defense, but still, you can't be 10 yards off when it's 3rd and 6. So they don't want to get beat, but I understand. But, and then Marcus Peters, man, I tell you, he is hot and cold, Brandon. I love him. On some plays, he has some good plays, but on other plays, he's getting beat way too often.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really seeing him being our interception guy like he was, I would say 2 years ago, because he was hurt all last year. So it's kind of disappointing, but, when you got Williams, who, and even though he's hurt, he came out right out the gate, boom, pick. So I guess, in a sense, the highlight is not much on him because other guys are making plays and you're kind of forgetting that, Peters was that playmaker. But yeah, I will say in terms of him and Humphrey, if you were to compare the two, Peters is more of a liability when it comes to coverage.
Humphrey's stepping up to the plate finally,
yeah.
In game 8. I mean, it took him 3 or 4 games to get his feet under him, I guess. I don't know what the problem was, but now he's looking like the Humphrey that we know. The Kyle Hamilton, he had a pretty decent game. He's still got a way to go.
Speaking of him, I mentioned to you during the game when we actually got home is the one thing I like that Mike McDonald is doing with him is using him on the rush.
On the rush.
Having him on the line of scrimmage like a Palomalu, because that just confuses an offensive lineman when you have to compensate for Justin Houston and the safety that's now on the line of scrimmage. It really creates confusion, and that's how we can get our sacks and get in the backfield.
I like him because he's a good tackler, and that's
he's got
the problem.
Speed and size.
He's got speed and size, so that's where his strength is, and out of college too. So, he'll have to develop in the backfield to try to get some interceptions, along the way. But his strength is definitely blitzing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, we, in terms of this, while we're on the topic of the secondary, a big play, a missed opportunity was that Clark interception. Again, Clark, for some reason, these past few years, cannot catch the ball. I don't know what it is. I mean, that was a gift right there, and you're like,
and that was critical.
The next play, he scrambles and gets that touchdown, but they got a flag, so we got bailed out by it. But it's like, just imagine if that's the game on the line.
Yeah.
If that's a 3rd down and he drops it, and now they have one more play on 4th to win the game or tie. It's like, man,
so many positives to say. So, but
also,
we got lucky a lot because
this game we did.
Tampa penalized themselves in critical situations that gave us back the ball.
They were shooting themselves in the foot, and they were doing what we did when you think of games like the Giants, all those penalties we had, shooting ourselves in the foot. That's what Tampa was doing for themselves this game. So we got bailed out. I'll take it, but listen, we finally got in the 4th quarter and held a lead.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. And that last touchdown that they got, really forget about it. The score doesn't really represent how this game went. It looks closer than how it really was. Yeah. So we really dominated this game in the second half.
Agreed. So a couple things. I'm going to talk about special teams like I do every.
Yeah, we know.
But also we're not talking about Lamar, right?
We talked about him in the beginning and how well he did, and
Yeah, I mean, but he really in the 4th quarter picked it up, and that's the Lamar we know. And his scrambling, that one run was unbelievable again, where he's juking everybody out. You know how I love Ricard, and I didn't like him chewing him out when he had a holding penalty on him, trying to block for him, because
that intensity that I like to see. Lamar, because he's kind of these last couple games, it seemed like he's just kind of like relaxing on the sideline, and you like kind of figure out where is that Lamar that we saw when we went 14-2, that intensity. So I like that he was chewing him out. I want to see that. I want to see that competitive nature. Not to say he doesn't have that, but visually it's nice to see
that. And it's unusual for any quarterback to do that right on the field right after that.
Yeah.
But I did like it too. I get you. But here's I love the grunt players like a Ricard who does all the grunt work. Right, and Lamar,
all that dirty work.
Hopefully at the end of the game, Lamar says, he blocked.
But that's his job as a fullback.
I don't care. You know, he's one of the best. You know, there's a lot of players that have that responsibility, but they don't do it as well as Ricard. So that's all I got to say about that. And then the special teams, we always have to say it because we have undoubtedly, arguably the best kicker and the best punter now in the league, which is crazy because we have a rookie punter. So I can't say much enough about Stout. I can't, and then of course Tucker is just automatic. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So we got those weapons, and I hope we take that momentum into all the games now. Because if you, like I always tell Brandon, if we cross the 50-yard line onto the 40-yard line, it's an automatic 3. Not an automatic, but it's a potential for a 3 that like maybe 18 to 20 teams don't even have.
Yeah, to go back to Lamar, the running game is really helping him out. Getting guys like, hopefully cross our fingers, Gus is okay and not seriously injured. Like you said during the game, it just seems like we can't get him and Jake on the field at the same time, but Drake is now picking it up. You're not even seeing, what's his name, Mike Davis, who he picked up. He just seems like irrelevant that offseason picked up. So it just seems like Gus, JK,
Justin,
Drake, and sometimes Hill. Hill's like more of a decoy because when you get those guys like JK and Gus and Drake in the game, you can put in a Hill and they're not expecting him to run and get the ball. So when he does, it's like, whoa, and he might pop off a 10, 15-yard run.
He did. He had a couple of those and a good pass to him that he got some good yards. So I was, if we
the run game really opens up everything.
Right, and Brandon, if we can alternate and keep them fresh, these teams, we wear them down.
Yeah.
And every, like you said, every one of them has a different skill set. So, you got Gus, you got Justice Hill, and Duvernay's in there too, almost like a running back. And it's crazy.
Not to say that this is good because you never want to wish injury, but I'd rather have the guys, because you're going to go through injury during the season. Every team is going to, but I'd rather have them hurt now until the end close to the playoffs. Because remember, when we went 14-2, who got injured at the end of that Cleveland regular season game that really messed us up was Mark Ingram, when Mark Ingram was good.
Oh.
And then that messed us up in the playoff game, right?
Oh, yeah.
So JK's hurt right now. Who knows what his status is? Yeah. But we got the bye coming up. We have I would say easy game considering we're playing the Saints, who are just going under with Andy Dalton. They don't even know who their quarterback is. Is it Andy? Is it Jameis Winston? So you win that game, you go on the bye, you get healthy.
We almost they're saying when you look at the days, it's almost like a 3-week with the bye.
So
and that's critical for us, right? That is the perfect bye week, by the way, for us.
Yeah. And what I'm saying, like with our injury wise, with JK and stuff, those guys get healthy near the end of the season before the playoffs. Yeah. That's perfect. That's what you want to have, And
then in December we're playing all our AFC,
all our division games.
Yeah. So this stretch right here is critical. If we can really step it up and get some cohesiveness, I'll say.
Yeah.
Right, with the players.
Like you said, that's a key word because these games, and we mentioned this last episode. Look, you look at the schedule, the Saints, a bye, and the Panthers, the Jags, and the Broncos who are struggling.
All
you
three
can't name
are winnable games for us.
You can't name better games. And then the Steelers after that, too. You can't name better games to get things running, get people on the same page before the crucial...
And distribute the ball. So if Andrews is out for a couple of weeks, well, again, with the bye week, they're saying he may not miss any games, but... Really, hey, we have nothing but love for Andrews. He's been the clutch guy for us. But we just want Lamar to spread the ball around because we have the weapons. He has to. Even Prochet had a good game.
He just had a catch, Dad.
But you know what? For him, those things are critical, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can laugh about it, but some of these
he's
receivers,
mostly getting penalties than anything, which frustrates me with him.
You're just not a Prochet guy, so.
Well, I don't want to focus on guys that are just not impacting the game.
My point is distribute the ball, right?
Which he did.
I'm saying, and that's what happened. He actually passed it to Prochet.
But saying he had a good game is, I think, a bit over the top.
Whatever.
One catch. Good God.
I'm talking about not specifically him, but the receiver core in Lamar. Yeah. He has to distribute. He has to learn how to distribute the ball, Brandon. He cannot focus. It was like in the first quarter. He just focused on Andrews, and they knew it, and he could have got maybe 2 interceptions. He's got to get better at that. He's a veteran. He's got to understand to distribute the ball. You know what that?
And that's why I said maybe these injuries this game isn't a bad thing, because it's not just this game, Dad. He's been like that the past couple years. It was just Hollywood and Andrews.
And we've always said
he was forced to throw it to other people.
Exactly. And you know what? That's where inherently Patrick Mahomes is good at. No matter who's on the field, he distributes the ball.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, and historically, Tom Brady, whoever he had as a receiver core, when he lost some of his key receivers, he didn't miss a beat.
Tom, Peyton,
So
and it's interesting too. Like a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a veteran, back-to-back MVP of the league. He's reluctant to give it to other guys, especially if they drop it. He's a stubborn, hard-headed, stuck-in-his-ways guy. And Lamar was kind of like that, and hopefully this game will prove to him, like, hey, I got other guys likely. They were so big on him, and then yet he wasn't getting any touches or anything until this game.
Yeah,
hopefully they don't go and just do a complete 360 on us against the Saints, right? And all this just goes down the tube.
You got Robinson, you had Likely, and you had Duvernay having.
And then you got Jackson coming, Deshaun Jackson coming.
And now Jackson's coming in. Come on. And a lot of that is Roman. He has to call the plays that put these guys in a position
in the game,
like screen plays, passes to the sideline designed for a specific guy to get them going, especially in the first quarter. So if he does that, we're good. Hey, again, we haven't talked much about Roman. We weren't fans last year of him, but he's doing a good job. First half, he's passing, which threw everybody off a little bit. He got back to the running game in the second half. And we have the weapons, and look at the results. So I hope he learns something there. And McDonald, he's doing his thing. He's learning, and he's got different people coming in and out that he has to deal with, and I'm sure that's hard for him coming in doing his thing.
Yeah, I think this guy's a Ravens reporter. I saw that Jeff Zurbrick, Zrebiec. He confirmed that it said multiple Ravens confirmed Harbaugh's account that it was the offensive game plan to throw a lot early, try to spread the Bucs out, see if they can pop some plays against the banged up secondary, and then tire them out so they can take the game over in the second half with the run game. So I'm not mad at that. We're going back to our ground and pound game now that we're getting our running backs back. So it just goes to show this offense is very versatile with the players we have, with the quarterback we have, and then when our running backs come in, we can just milk the clock after you get a lead, get those first downs. I mean, Gus and Duvernay, I said during the game, it's like a cheat code. I mean, 3rd and 3, it should be automatic, Gus, right? Yeah. Get you that first down, move the chains, kill the clock. Yeah. It just seems like I just love this offense. I love the pieces, and
we got Drake too. I mean,
I hope they just keep tying things together and we stay healthy.
Alternating Gus and Drake, I love that because they're both similar runners. They're ground pound and ground type guys, and you keep them fresh, and they hit a hole with 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4. Yep. That's the secret. And then you got Lamar in the back to do those options with them. If he sees the hole and pull it back and run, that's a good formula.
Yeah, so, it's nice this Sunday we can relax, not have a heart attack. Big game Monday night in our division with the Browns and the Bengals. Hopefully the Browns can come up and shut up those cocky Bengals fans. They got Chase out. Let's see what Burrow does without his best target. Steelers are down and out. Who cares? So we will report to you. It's next Sunday night in New Orleans, Sunday night. Yeah. So hopefully in New Orleans, it's going to be loud, I'm assuming. New Orleans is always crazy. So hopefully Ravens can continue this momentum. Please comment, give us your thoughts, give us your what you're anticipating coming up on this next game. It's exciting, man. The season, halfway through, man. Halfway through. This is what dictates the teams, the winning teams and the losing teams. Who separates from who and who can stay healthy. That's the name of the game at this point of the season.
Well, Brandon, a lot of fun this week, short week for us. A great win on the road. I'm pumped. I'm happy. Ravens Nation, give us your feedback. It's just fun now. We can sit back and relax and look at everybody else.
Yes, that's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. So We appreciate it if you're listening, and we will tune into you next week in New Orleans.